Zhang Ping is sitting in the classroom, eating jewels that he himself created. With each jewel he eats, he gains a new ability. While the other students have only one ability each, he sits there bored, wasting precious time in class, while the world outside is overrun by monsters that devour humans and impersonate them, creatures with illusions so powerful that only our hero can see through them. Just a few days ago, everyone saw him as a loser with a useless ability, destined to become nothing more than a farmer. The truth is that while everyone else received combat abilities, our hero received the ability to create contract gems. Creating one of these gems requires both physical and mental energy. For it to work, the target must eat it voluntarily. Once they do, their life, soul, and will become completely bound to the control of our hero. Moreover, the target may even gain a rare ability and immunity to illusions. But here lies the problem. No one wants to become a puppet voluntarily. Even his girlfriend Sujinal refused. When he was on the verge of giving up and accepting a farmer's life, a brilliant idea struck him. What if he ate the crystal himself and became his own puppet? Surprisingly, it worked. He gained total control over his own body, although with certain limits. He couldn't perform anything supernatural like flying or transforming into other beings, but he could make his body do anything a human could, like mastering martial arts. He could even make his body run or do push-ups while his mind slept. When he woke up at school the next day, everything seemed normal until the top student in the class approached him. While everyone else celebrated her arrival, Zhang heard a sinister sound and saw a horrifying creature in her place. No one else reacted. When the figure leaned closer with a twisted smile and asked if he was okay, he forced himself to stay calm. Despite the terrifying being before him, he pretended he had only had a nightmare and a bad night's sleep. Using class as an excuse, he quickly left the room. Outside, Zhang struggled with conflicting emotions, unsure if he was hallucinating or if mutant beasts had infiltrated the school. What disturbed him most was that no one else seemed to notice. When he considered telling a teacher, he found another creature in the staff room and ran away, shaken by the realization that the place might already be hell itself. Zhang soon realized that he only started seeing these beings after swallowing the contract gem. Upon analyzing it, the jewel addict discovered that as both summoner and summon, he controlled himself completely. No external force could affect his body or mind. He concluded that no illusion could influence him, which explained why he alone could see the disguised mutant beasts. The system identified the creature as a celestial fox, level 26, with unknown growth potential, capable of perception through cognitive distortion that blinds others to abnormalities. At level 1, he was no match for it. He also realized that the fox could not openly devour people, instead disguising itself as an ordinary student. That explained why no one noticed. It was a form of mental control. The High Summoner believed that his psychic class mental power could help. After class, Zhang assumed that the celestial foxes were limited to the campus, but he was shocked to spot a couple outside, and the girl was one of them. The thought of how many of these creatures walked unnoticed among humans made his skin crawl. At the city guard's headquarters, a beautiful receptionist greeted him. He asked to see Sodengo, who had enlisted that day. To his horror, the woman in front of him was also a disguised celestial fox. The revelation shook him deeply, as it meant these beasts had infiltrated even the city guard, the supposed defenders of the city, remaining hidden even from high-level awakeners who couldn't pierce their illusions. When Jingguil arrived, Zhang said he had only come to check if she was all right. She smiled, assured him that she was fine, and offered to introduce him to her new teammates. Awkwardly, he replied that he was fine. Jingguil shared her determination to become strong enough to hunt the beasts that killed her parents. Though nervous, he supported her. She then mentioned that her team was short on members and asked if she should recommend him to the city guard. Zhang declined, feeling that his power was useless and better suited for farming, but he was relieved to see her safe and decided not to interfere further. However, as he left, fear consumed him. He realized that Jingguil and her teammates were also celestial foxes in disguise. Outside, Zheng stood in shock as the truth sank in. The city guard, supposedly the most powerful force in Pearl City, had already been corrupted by the celestial foxes. He wondered how such immense power could fall so completely. Jingguil may have joined only that day, But the foxes hadn't just infiltrated the school, they had taken over the entire city. To them, humans were nothing more than livestock trapped in their wicked hunt. Using his analysis skill, the self-summoner discovers that the celestial foxes are categorized by level 19 as low level, 1019 as mid-level, 2029 as high level, and 3039 as apex level. Most of those around him are above level 15 with one of unknown potential. Even the city guard, filled with high-level awakeners, cannot defeat them. The one who killed Lacru is far beyond that, as merely trying to analyze it would expose his location. This creature is an apex being above level 40, a king-level threat, likely responsible for empowering other foxes to fight far beyond their own rank. Unlike most mutant beasts, the celestial foxes are highly intelligent and masters of disguise, able to blend in perfectly, though it's all an elaborate illusion. Their main targets are powerful or influential figures to take control of, while ordinary people are kept as livestock for future use. Facing them directly would be suicide, but Zhang can't just stand by and watch innocent people die. If only he were stronger. A week later, Zhang wakes up around 4 a.m., rising earlier each day as his body now requires less rest after constant training. Despite his efforts, he has only reached level 2, continuing to create gems in hopes of awakening something new. Most of them turn out colorless and ineffective, but today he produces a purple one. Though unappealing, he eats it and feels a surge of power. Checking his status panel, he sees that his growth has increased to 4 stars, his stats have improved, and his abilities have advanced to level 2. A new bonus effect has also been activated, granting him the skill Night Wanderer, which gives him night vision, faster movement, quieter steps, and the ability to vanish into shadows. The self-summoner, both shocked and excited, realizes he can now move freely and investigate under the cover of night. He loves unlocking a new skill with each level, and with Night Wanderer active, he wastes no time training. During his run, he notices his vision sharpening even in daylight. At the edge of the road, a ring catches his eye. His analysis reveals it to be a ring of assassination, which causes its wearer to be subconsciously ignored by others. Although high-level awakeners are immune to its effect, Zhang is stunned by the discovery. Soon after, he spots the imposter Luo Xiu arguing heatedly with another man and assumes that the ring must belong to him. Naively, Zhang believes the man sees Luo as human and is merely her enemy. When the argument escalates, Zhang remembers that Luo was an orphan, someone who would never make enemies so easily. The only explanation is that there are others secretly fighting against the celestial foxes as well. Suddenly the creature senses something, convinced that the missing ring was stolen, though she has yet to detect Zhang's presence. She assumes a mid-level awakener is nearby and rushes off to report to Her Highness. Zhang realizes the ring was bait, but returning it would only arouse suspicion, so he keeps it. At 5:30 a.m. with the sky still dark, he feels untouchable with Night Wanderer and the ring, learning that true strength doesn't come only from power but also from equipment. At that moment, ominous footsteps echo nearby. Dingle's energy flares, warning him to hide. Moments later, the imposter Lil arrives with other beasts, ready to strike, while a rat-faced fox prepares to crush him to death. As the self-summoner pretends to snore, the imposter scans for any flicker of emotion that might expose him. Convinced that this useless trash isn't the fugitive they're hunting, he assumes the real one must already have fought for his life. With claws ready to attack, the imposter still senses no trace of the ring. The rat-faced creature grows suspicious, noting that this guy usually runs every morning but not today, insisting that Her Highness kill him. However, the imposter Leo Highness of the Celestial Foxes dismisses him, calling Zhang worthless food. Since she never wastes food, the rat-faced one has no choice but to obey. Later, Zhang opens his eyes to an empty room, gasping for air. He had been inches from death in that bed. Spitting out the ring, he realizes that skipping his morning run nearly sent him to heaven. Luckily, commanding himself to sleep had thrown off their suspicions. He's certain he had Zhang Wil's voice earlier, though part of him wonders if it was just his imagination. Setting the thought aside, he becomes determined to grow stronger and avenge her. For now, he maintains the appearance of a normal life, careful not to arouse suspicion among the celestial foxes. Later, two girls gossip about how the city guard found a body sliced in half near their academy. It turns out to be the infamous Black Star of Death, Pearl City's top assassin, one who once wounded the old city lord. The rumor reaches Zhang, who deduces that the corpse must belong to the white-clad figure from the previous night. Rumor has it that the old city lord's wounds had never fully healed and he died young. This makes Zhang realize that if the imposter Leo defeated such a skilled assassin so easily, her strength is far more terrifying than he had imagined. Even so, he can't understand why they made the body public, unless it was meant as a warning to anyone who dares oppose the celestial foxes. The jewel addict is certain that this will only draw more attention to them and make them more alert. He decides he needs better equipment to protect himself. After class, he heads to the blacksmith district to take a look around. On his way to the market, Zhang analyzes a blacksmith who sells equipment only to discover that he's actually a celestial fox in disguise. Wait, you've watched the video up to this point and still haven't subscribed to the channel? Come on, man, don't slack off, hit that subscribe button so we can reach 100k subs. You'll make me really happy, okay? Okay? Zhang realizes that all the blacksmith shops in the city must be under the fox's control. Thanks to his analysis skill, which has now advanced to the intermediate level after several successful uses, he identifies the fake blacksmith as level 15 and even sees his growth potential. The same mutant beast tries to sell him goods, but Zhang isn't interested and looks for a forge not under their control. Soon he spots Iron Soul Forge, where a high-quality sword with a brilliant finish is on display. The vendor praises the old blacksmith for his strictness, but claims he's offering the lowest price, so low that it hurts his own profit. The old man isn't fooled, mocks the kid and asks whether his daughter is waiting for dinner. This infuriates the brat, who snaps back and accuses the old man of being deaf. At that moment, Zhang picks up the sword to inspect it, angering the brat for touching his merchandise. Using analysis, Zhang discovers that it's a common one-handed sword broken and poorly repaired. Zhang casually points out that it will break soon, and it does right in front of them. The vendor explodes with rage, demanding to know if Zhang even understands who he's dealing with. As his clothes dramatically tear, he declares himself a direct disciple of Master Mod of the Martial Arts Academy, Shenji, and rushes forward at high speed, telling Zhang to prepare himself. Zhang doesn't even move. He simply slaps him effortlessly. The blonde accuses the self-summoner of cheating, but Zhang's analysis reveals that he is Lelbadigi, a low-level awakener with 1-star growth potential, stuck at level 1, possessing only the ability Earth Shatter. Though flashy and destructive, Earth Shatter drains so much energy that once started he can't stop it. The brat tearfully begs Zhang to leave, but the Gemet addict isn't interested in staying. The blonde attempts a surprise attack, but Zhang stops him instantly. Just then, a woman arrives, saying the boy had been missing for 5 minutes and that the place had gotten quite lively. The professional-looking woman warns Zhang to leave or be expelled. The blonde runs away apologizing, while Zhang casually decides to check out other shops. However, the woman stops him, insisting she wants to talk. Sensing trouble, Zhang hesitates, but she insists he stay. She introduces herself as a hard-working maiden, trying to survive while caring for her uncle who has been devastated since his daughter's disappearance. Looking at the self-summoner fit and with a decent personality, she suddenly pushes him against the wall, making him blush uncontrollably. Without hesitation, the beauty hires Zhang to work as a blacksmith, take care of her uncle Lao Feng and manage the shop, offering him food, lodging and a monthly salary. As she presses against him, Zhang thinks that learning to forge could save him a lot on equipment costs later. Moreover, the shop isn't under Celestial Fox control. Wearing a straw hat, he boldly declares that he will become the king of blacksmiths. The woman slaps him hard, calling him a good support, exactly the kind of man she expected when she chose him. For now, the jewel addict focuses on surviving under her supervision, or he risks bleeding to death. A few days later, Wonder Woman, as Zhang jokingly calls her, asks the self-summoner to use more strength. He asks his sister Cho Chang if it's okay and she assures him no one will come. Sweating under her command, he trains his exclusive keyed and forge technique, merging materials as if kneading dough. She steps out to grab some mold from the warehouse, warning him not to let the fire go out. Beside him, he notices the scarlet serpent's scale and cloak, wondering if it could serve as fuel. When the fire weakens, he quickly throws them in to keep it burning, only for the forge to explode instantly. Zhang thinks he's done for. Something feels strange about the heat wave, as a skull-like shape absorbs the surrounding smoke. When he regains consciousness, Zhang wonders how the fire went out so suddenly, only for his chest to burn with intense pain. Using analysis, he discovers that he has reached level 3 with an even greater growth potential. His growth potential had increased, even though it was an accident. His level 3 bonus was activated, revealing that unlocking new powers further expanded his potential, enhancing both his analysis and the abilities he had already acquired. If he continued awakening, his growth could become limitless. For now, he unlocked Fire Devourer, which allowed him to consume flames and convert them into elemental fire energy stored within his body, energy that he could release until it was completely depleted. His fire elemental energy was now 100 out of 100. This reminded the gem addict that everyone had limits to their growth potential, but he began to wonder if he was the only one capable of unlocking multiple abilities. He guessed that the Fire Devourer had absorbed the flames, even though he had already consumed a level 3 gem after reaching level 3. What puzzled him was why the effect had only activated at night, perhaps under specific conditions. At that moment, Zhang Rompe stormed in, demanding an explanation for the mess. As she approached, she caught him off guard by asking if he had thrown the scarlet serpent's scale into the forge, causing the explosion. Admitting that she had forgotten to warn him, she took responsibility, but he was worried about the damage. Zhang brushed it off, saying it was fine as long as he was unharmed, but she was stunned. How could he have extinguished flames born from a scarlet serpent's scale, which were nearly impossible to put out? He simply replied that it was a long story. Meanwhile, Zhang was surprised to see that the fusion had gone so well, since such results normally required extremely high temperatures. She commented on his talent, criticizing the Sager Academy for not recognizing his performance. His strength, she said, was enough to qualify him for the 3 major organizations. The gem addict agreed, noting that people usually considered the city guard and the investigation team as 2 of them. When asked about the third, Zhang explained that Pearl Seta was part of it. Though little was known about the organization itself, even its true name remained a mystery. Remembering that Zhang had gone out earlier to find equipment, she handed him a dagger. After analyzing it, he identified it as Tear of the Beauty, forged from colored iron of exceptional quality, strong enough to slay mutant beasts up to mid-level 19. It was worth around 100,000, the equivalent of 3 years of his salary. Zhang was shocked that she would let him keep it, but she insisted it was a reward for his progress. He still couldn't believe someone like him could possess such a weapon, yet she was firm. It was his reward for his advancement. For now, she had a mission to complete, and asked if he could skip school. Zhang explained that he had already completed the graduation process in advance. Wonder Woman told him to look after the unstable old man and ensure that he didn't reopen the shop. Zhang wondered if the Celestial Foxes had left the blacksmith alone because he wasn't active anymore, but the commotion he caused might have drawn their attention. Since it was nighttime, he decided to use his Night Wanderer skill to explore the surroundings. Meanwhile, a cheerful girl was swinging in a ruined playground, but in truth, she was a level 3 mutant beast in disguise. It was the first time Zhang had seen a fox of such a low level, the same as his. With his upgraded equipment, he felt confident he could handle her. Even though the city guard had fallen, the investigation team outside the city should remain unaffected. He planned to deliver the fox's corpse to them to draw the attention of higher authorities. Just then, a chilling voice sliced through the air, mocking him for panicking at the thought of attacking a child. The voice overflowed with killing intent, warning him not to move or he would die instantly. The mysterious woman told him not to attack, and Zhang, shaken, realized that she was far stronger than him. His Night Wanderer ability and Assassin's Ring were useless against her. She could see through them. She instructed him to meet her at the orphanage training grounds, if he wanted to survive. When the suffocating aura finally faded, she was already gone. Zhang concluded that she wasn't one of the Celestial Foxes, otherwise he'd already be dead. He had grown up in that orphanage, spending his childhood practicing sloppy fighting moves in the small park across the street. That was why the place was called the orphanage training field, and now he wondered if the woman knew about his past or his secrets. She had clearly been observing him, arriving just in time to stop him earlier, and he suspected she had lured him there for a reason. Suddenly a mutant beast emerged from the forest. Activating analysis, Zhang identified it as a venom-tailed armored rat, a level 5 2-star rodent. Its venom sac powered the bone spurs on its tail, capable of releasing a deadly toxin. The creature was 2 levels above him, so the High Summoner considered retreating, but quickly changed his mind. If he didn't defeat it now, the orphans might be in danger tomorrow. Besides, it was only a low-level beast, and with Zhang's dagger he was confident he could win. In all the webs he had read in his past life, the hero always became a combat specialist the moment he gained powers. What he knew was complete nonsense. He admitted to having no real combat experience, yet he could still command the beast summoned by Jumin to move forward. As he charged at the rodent, he was taken by surprise when it spun through the air and rolled to counterattack, supported by its armor. Its defense was sloppy, and he quickly realized that the rodent's armor was too thick to be pierced by the beauty's slash. He would need a new plan to overcome this beast. While fighting, Zhang felt as if he were controlling a video game character, but this time it was himself. He imagined that the beast's only weak point was its unarmored eyes, but when it curled into a defensive ball, hitting the target became much more difficult. The gem addict decided he needed to break the beast's stance. He activated Fire Devourer and quickly came up with an idea. He prepared his first command, Pearl Fist, in the Rat Hunt style without expecting those tedious Pearl history classes to ever be useful. The technique focused on subduing the enemy with brute force, perfect for crushing smaller opponents. As the rodent advanced, Zhang began with a feint, chaining into a Fire Devourer combo. Then he unleashed his new move with erupting flames, sending the beast flying backward and leaving it defenseless. He struck its weak point, triggering an explosion that annihilated it. His attributes increased instantly, and he realized that real combat leveled him up much faster than training. But something felt off. The venom-tailed rat shouldn't have been there. Inside the city walls, only celestial foxes were supposed to exist. Suddenly black energy gathered and swirled around him, pulling him downward, while a chilling voice granted him 5 minutes. A woman as cold as ice appeared, staring at him and demanding proof that he was human, leaving Zhang bewildered about how to prove it. He found himself entangled in confusion as the ice woman insisted on proof of his humanity. He realized she could sense mutant beasts in the city, even if she couldn't identify them, and that was why she was testing him. She must have grown suspicious when he almost attacked the small celestial fox, forcing him to give a nervous smile. He asked if she could at least give him a hint of what she meant, while wondering if the rodent had been a test from the start. With 4 minutes remaining, Zhang spent 2 minutes trying to analyze her, failing every time. After 999 failed attempts, his skill evolved into advanced analysis, which could now reveal the target's faction. On the next attempt, he finally achieved a full reading, Love Icon of the Purification Squad, level 28. A high-level awakener with water manipulation abilities. She could absorb and store water energy within her body, exercising precise control over it inside and around herself. By reading her status, Zhang finally understood why she was so difficult to analyze, and why his Night Wanderer ability and Assassin's Ring had no effect on her. The Purification Squad was unknown to him, and he wondered if they were the third organization besides the City Guard and the investigation team. When the Ice Woman warned him that he had only 1 minute left, panic set in. Desperate to stall, he forced a casual tone, asking if she was also from the orphanage, since she had referred to the park as a training field. He ransacked his memory but couldn't remember meeting Lux, and nervously guessed that she might have changed her name. He slipped, asking if she was really Lao Turan. Long ago, a little girl with white hair named La Turan had sung about the fist that broke the sky, destroyed the earth, and was invincible in Sis, prompting Zhang to pay attention. Rekindling the memory, Zhang recalled the same melody, naming the first and third forms, which made the Ice Woman blush. He asked if she was Sissy's sister, but she deflected with a second question. Additionally, the Ice Woman observed that his contract gem, considered useless by the Academy due to its impossible activation requirement, demanded to know what he had done. He explained that 2 weeks ago he had swallowed the gem and become his own summoned beast. Since then he had full control over himself, was immune to mutant beast illusions, and could see through any disguise. In his investigation, Zhang discovered a horrifying truth. Celestial foxes were hiding everywhere, and an entire clan may have already infiltrated Pearl City. Their inherent cognitive distortion ability explained how they had gone unnoticed, a revelation that visibly shook the Ice Woman. He listed them with precision: the breakfast shop owner Wang Shang, the furniture store owner Wan Yin on Lei Street, 3 blacksmiths on Longzhou Street, and even the little fox he was stopped from attacking. All of them were low-level celestial foxes. Zhang insisted that she confirmed the same. After a long pause, she ordered him to stay put while she verified the information with Jimbo. The first thing Jimbo's team managed to confirm on the other end of the line was that no mutant celestial fox beasts had been reported in the city. However, the cognitive distortion ability had appeared before, matching Zhang Ping's description. A team was immediately dispatched by Jimbo to capture the 2 store owners, and they were expected to return soon. Suddenly an explosion erupted and the team leader Jimbo learned that the blast came from the direction of the breakfast shop owner. The woman had completely lost control, attacking violently as they escorted her out of the city. The crazy woman charged at Jimbo, but he didn't even move. A brutal punch to her stomach unleashed a wave of sinister energy, exposing the mutant beast within her. With clear proof, Jimbo confirmed Zhang's information and ordered his team to notify the other squads and eliminate the target immediately. Later at Pearl Academy, Her Highness Li sensed something unusual and was killed outside the city. Almost immediately, another presence on Li Street disappeared. Both were killed instantly, their traces erased, going unnoticed by her. The imposter Li So was shocked, wondering who could be behind it. In a dark room, the Ice Woman freed Zhang from his restraints. He asked if she had confirmed his claims, and she admitted that she had, but she wasn't completely sure. His sudden ability to see through the celestial fox illusions could easily have been a trap as part of her plan to reveal them. She told the gem addict that she needed him to act as her eyes and ears while she secretly observed, and if he discovered anything he should report it to her at night. Jing was astonished to realize that he was receiving protection and surveillance at the same time. Still, he agreed as long as it helped to defeat the celestial foxes. She gave him a jade pendant, a cold jade twin to her warm one. If he enveloped it in flames during danger, hers would heat instantly, summoning her to his side. She promised to come as fast as possible but warned him not to rely too heavily on anyone. For true security, he would need to grow stronger on his own. Knowing the high cost of tuition, Zhang, the self-summoner, considered learning martial arts or joining a martial arts school. Sister Ses offered a solution, promising to request a scholarship from the organization on his behalf while he searched for a suitable school. Grateful Zhang thanked her. Later, Zhang noticed a drastic reduction in the number of celestial foxes. He presumed that the Purge Squad was efficiently doing its job. He also sensed that the Ice Woman didn't trust him enough to reveal her identity. Only after his analysis skill improved did he confirm her faction, verifying his suspicion that she was part of the Purge Squad. Zhang couldn't understand how the Purge Squad had discovered the Celestial Fox infiltration in Pearl City, but he focused on one thing: eradicating them. He was also grateful for the generous 10,000 pearl coins he had been given. Meanwhile, Zhang was busy looking for a martial arts school. A girl from the King Beast Fist course asked if he was interested. Zhang checked and found it expensive, and wasn't sure if it was the right style for him. Pink assured him it was worth every penny, claiming her techniques were famous throughout Pearl City. She offered to demonstrate the first 3 forms of King Beast Fist: Monkey King style, Giant Crocodile style, and Phoenix Claw style. Zhang was intrigued and paid close attention. The self-summoner quickly realized that the King Beast Fist techniques were more advanced than Pearl Fist techniques, with better movement and footwork. It was an excellent martial arts style, especially the Monkey King style, which had no fixed form and numerous variations. However, he also noticed that Pink was not well trained and barely knew the technique. Pink stumbled, and as he helped her up, two large men appeared. They demanded to know who authorized Pink to distribute pamphlets for the King Beast Fist, as she had been banned. One of them, a blonde man, insulted the King Beast Fist as a bad technique and tried to convince the other man to join the Kijin martial arts school. The blonde man became furious when Zhang called him Nil, the quintuple lightning, but he corrected him, saying it was lightning attack, and prepared to fight to prove it. Still furious about what had happened at the smithy, the blonde was eager to make the fool pay. He ordered Zhang Gai and Zhang Ge to take Zhang down, but Pink intervened, protecting him from intimidation. The two gorillas unleashed their power, sending chills down his spine. Analysis revealed that Zhang Ge of Zhangdu Martial Arts School, Level 4, was a low-level awakener. His meat fortification sacrificed 70% of intelligence in exchange for a 30% increase in strength. Physical. Zhang's statistics were identical. The gem addict was shocked to see someone trade intelligence for strength, and when the two gorilla brothers gained power, he even questioned whether it was a real ability. Meanwhile, Zhang analyzed Wang Jimin, the virtuoso Pink of the Beast King Martial School, a level 3 awakener with 7-star growth potential. Her talent allowed her to enhance any skill through practice and increase its growth speed from 0 to 1000%. Although her diligence trait reduced her learning capacity by 90%, Zhang was impressed to realize that she was a late bloomer who had still become an informational powerhouse. Even so, with her current strength, she was looking for trouble. Zhang returned the pamphlets and decided to handle the situation himself. With 3 opponents against her, victory was impossible, so he intervened. Excited after seeing the Monkey King style, Zhang put it into practice. The two gorillas attacked, but with the first 3 forms of the Beast King Fist, he quickly brought them down. Blonde tried his quintuple lightning attack, but Zhang dodged and struck a brutal blow to the groin with the 3rd form. He taunted Blonde for having 2 men fewer and only 1 triple lightning left. Zhang left the bully sprawled on the ground, deciding it was worth visiting the Beast King Martial School. Pink, amazed that she had learned the Monkey King style by observing only once, asked him to guide her if she had difficulties. Eager to grow stronger quickly, she knew her 7-star potential could one day make her an apex awakener, and she wondered if he would be the one to seek her help in the future. 2 lazy students from the Earth style panicked at the market when they saw their master, even though they thought he wouldn't appear for the next few days. They were terrified knowing they hadn't mastered even half of the Monkey King style's moves, and some seemed about to faint at the thought of his wrath. Zhang found it ridiculous that they feared their own instructor so much. Next to him, Demara nervously explained that it was Bade, the legendary instructor known for his severity, who punished lazy students who failed to complete their tasks on time. When Zhang asked if she had ever been punished before, Pink admitted presumptuously that she had been there for a month and was punished every other day for not yet performing even the basic moves correctly. The instructor entered like a veteran general, ready to discipline his troops, immediately ordering 50 laps for anyone caught bending without maintaining proper posture. Through analysis, Zhang identified Bede, from the Beast King Martial School, level 25, a low-level awakener with 1-star growth potential. His skill, Hunger Mimicry, allowed him to consume a creature and temporarily assume its physical form. The number of forms he could store depended on his level, and currently he possessed 2, the Running Wolf and the Furious Lion Warrior. The High Summoner imagined that this level 25 monster was on par with Sister Cece. Suddenly, Bade recognized Zhang as the boy who had defeated the Chenji clown yesterday, and was curious to see what he was capable of. Zhang protested, saying there was no point in picking on the novice, but Bade's anger only grew after hearing the rumor that Zhang had mastered the Monkey King style in a single demonstration. A fist shot toward Zhang's face, fast enough to send him flying to the moon, leaving no time to dodge. But instead of crushing him, Bade simply caressed him like a kitten. Impressed with Zhang's talent, he lamented that the boy had learned from an inexperienced practitioner, explaining his sloppy footwork. Bade decided to personally teach the true technique to Zhang later, which Zhang gratefully accepted. Then the instructor turned to the lazy students, declaring a sparring session as punishment. Those who failed to meet his standards would perform 500 push-ups, followed by a 16-kilometer run while wearing a weighted vest. Zhang, the self-summoner, expected nothing less from a physical enhancement awakener with such brutal training exercises. Pink blushed and admitted that Bade rarely taught her anything beyond the basics. Timidly, she asked if Zhang would train her privately. He agreed and invited her to the Iron Soul Smithy after class as his training partner. Still, Zhang noted that her willpower reduced her learning capacity by 90%, explaining why Bade had little patience with her. A few days later at the Iron Soul Smithy, Zhang was training Jimin with finesse, breaking the Monkey King style into manageable steps that gradually helped her improve. Although she still fainted mid-training, watching her fight, the High Summoner admitted that the Beast King fist was indeed profound. After days of uninterrupted training, he could even feel his own level rising. At that moment, Sister Shucking arrived to check on her younger brother, leaving Jimin alone. She explained that mutant beasts had become scarce, forcing them to venture deeper into the forests. From the north, they encountered a pack of storm wolves. She used her digging spade to hide the team until the wolves turned on a group of savages. During this encounter, she seized a rare wind gem, a common treasure that stores elemental energy and can unleash wind blades, storms and similar attacks through mental commands. She handed it to Zhang and noted that it was unusual to find a gem that could allow even a skinny child to summon blades and storms. A wave of wind magic enveloped the self-summoner, and a voice echoed in his mind, warning the older brother of someone not to take the gem and to release his hands. Suddenly, Zhang heard the Fan family saber style first form, the sword chi crossing, followed by birds singing a cheerful melody, a symphony of love across the jade green hills. Then another voice cut through, dark and chilling, declaring that Yueri was dead and swearing to devour 2 cursed humans today. Checking his status, Zhang was revealed to be level 4 at the Iron Soul Smithy with 4 stars. His level 4 bonus unlocked a new ability, Whispers of the Wind, which passively amplifies the thoughts of anyone within a 16-kilometer radius experiencing intense emotions. It was not an ability he could control directly. Zhang realized that the contracted gem worked with a delay. The voice spoke to Yuliu about 2 humans in the shop, Wangem and a boy, suspecting that the latter was the one who had angered His Majesty in the academy dormitory. At that moment, Zhang recognized her as a celestial fox and was surprised to learn that they planned to hunt him and Jamin right there in the shop. In the bathroom, Cece was taking a bath while the hot stone heated up, alerting that Zhang Ping was in serious danger. Meanwhile, Zhang grew anxious because Sister Cece had not yet arrived and heard the 2 natural order foxes losing patience, ready to attack at any moment. He did not respond to Zhang's concern, knowing that both enemies were intermediate level foxes, far too strong for him to handle even with her help. Casually, Zhang asked Kanan if she had visited Uncle Lel since returning, and suggested she check on him upstairs while he went to buy ingredients for cooking. She agreed, excited to taste his food again, planning to take the wind gem with her. Meanwhile, the gem addict decided to rescue Ngem before Sister Kanang and Uncle El were put in danger. In the smithy's yard, Diamin asked him to check her posture, but he quickly pulled her aside, telling her to stay quiet and follow him. It was too late, the celestial foxes were already there. Zhang knew this was bad. When Diamin suddenly called the mother and father of the mutant beasts, he warned her not to approach them. Even as Diamin insisted everything was fine, Zhang's analysis revealed the truth. A natural order fox at level 15, intermediate with cognitive distortion. Another was at level 16, supposedly the father. He asked why the boy beside him looked scared. She introduced Zhang as a friend from the martial arts school, unaware they were not her real parents. Suddenly a dark space enveloped them as the foxes rushed to complete the hunt. Dayam ordered Pink to hold Zhang, though she was shaken seeing her parents acting strangely. Their plan collapsed when the beasts attacked, destabilizing them. Jamin, horrified, demanded to know why her father would do this, but Zhang revealed the truth: they were mutant beasts. The mutant beasts realized Zhang could see through their disguise and decided he must die. The imposter father attacked, forcing Zhang to defend himself. Each dodged stronger than the last. The difference in their levels was overwhelmingly clear. The mother beast turned against one of Yamen, who had not yet recovered from the shock, leaving Diam cornered. At that moment, Sister Cece's voice cut through the chaos, ordering him to move, while a blast of ice sent the beasts flying. Her power filled the space as she prepared to finish them off. The desperate pleas of Guillaume for mercy fell on deaf ears. When it was over, she collapsed in tears, unable to bear the sight of her parents' deaths before her. Even as Guillaume continued insisting they were natural order foxes wearing her parents' skins, Guillaume refused to believe it. The Gemedic then asked Cece why the beasts had not returned to their true forms. She explained that there could be a real-level fox in the city, amplifying its illusion talent enough that even low-level beasts could deceive high-level awakeners. She added that the ones they killed outside the city had only returned because the effect had not reached such a range. This sparked an idea in Diam. He could be the only hope to expose the disguises. He turned to Diam and revealed the truth. These mutant beasts had killed her parents and taken their forms. Tears welled up in her eyes as the weight of his words sank in. His Majesty heard reports that 9 of them had died in just 1 week. She senses that the humans may have found a way to neutralize their illusions. One mutant fox urges her to take the city by force and massacre everyone, while another fears they will starve if they waste all the food. The imposter Lu silences them, reminding the court that exterminating humans would be a waste of resources. Her primary priority is to lure out those hiding in the shadows and eliminate them one by one. She then seeks advice from the vice mayor, who suggests allowing other species to infiltrate the city to create chaos. The smaller the herd, the easier it will be to eliminate the strong. Her Majesty wants to know why the vice mayor is so certain that the strong still remain in the city. He explains that besides the city guard and the investigation team, there is a third major organization. Since the city lord was injured by the king and fled, he suspects that the man is hiding within that group, waiting for them to show weakness. The other foxes agree that bringing in outside species is a good idea, and some even welcome the change of pace. Her Majesty acknowledges the vice mayor's advice, noting that he has earned their gratitude for now, but will be dismissed if he strays from the line. The king is still asleep, and she has no intention of letting Huang Zhiming forget his place. Huang Zhiming swears that he has dedicated his life to Pearl City, blaming its decline on the weakness of the former city lord. He believes the city should belong to the strong. Meanwhile, Zhiming reaches for the remains of her parents, regretting not knowing sooner. Cece coldly tells her that nothing could have been changed anyway, and Zhiming spirals, blaming herself for being too weak, for not mastering even the basics, and wishing she had died. Zhang pulls her into his arms, saying it is not her fault. He recounts how he also lost someone dear, killed by imposters of the Celestial Fox and the city guard. The thought still haunts him, though he wonders if stopping her could have saved her life. Deep down, he knows nothing could have changed the outcome. She shares her dream of joining the city guard, determined to follow that path, no matter the cost. What happened to her parents was not her fault, but now they can fight for a better future and become strong enough to protect those they love. With her parents watching from above, they would be proud. She needed these words and thanks Zhang, vowing to exterminate all the monsters in the city. At that moment, Zhang coughs up blood and she panics, realizing too late how badly he is injured. The Gemedic forces his body to resist, but it does not last long. When he finally awakens, Cece and Gemin are relieved to see him conscious. Cece warns him not to move, or his wound will reopen, while Pink declares she has decided to grow stronger and exterminate the celestial foxes. This determination calms Zhang, and he places his faith in her. Deciding that Jimin's house is no longer safe, Cece invites her to stay there for protection. At that moment, Zhang hears a whisper that the king still sleeps and Huang Zhiming should know his place. He recognizes the voice as Lurus Wusaz Ruiz and immediately shares leadership over the celestial foxes with Cece. Subsequently, the self-summoner reveals that Huang Zhiming, vice mayor of Pearl City, swore to be a humble servant of the celestial foxes, betraying his own people. The Ice Lady discovers the existence of their king, whose power can amplify illusions strong enough to deceive even high-level awakeners. She concludes that with the king weakened, this is the best chance to strike back. She assigns the self-summoner to uncover the hidden aberrations in the city, and he accepts without hesitation. Meanwhile, the old man complains of hunger, but Shiri calmly assures him that the self-summoner will return soon with supplies. At the Purge Squad base, Manny grumbles that first he was dragged to activate the secret chamber and now the celestial curtain. Complaining that CS really enjoys giving orders like a boss, Shane Lowe ignores him while Shud discreetly offers coffee, noting that this may take some time. Moments later, Shudduk analyzes the solar charge, maintains the black curtain, and Lua shapes the distortion of light and shadow, releasing the curtain that covers the entire city in unison. After working together for some time, the Purge Squad finally decides to reveal some of their secrets to Zhang. Known as the most secretive organization in Pearl City, they have sworn to protect the city from any threat and purge all corruption. As the city's hidden weapon, they frequently undertake secret missions with the support of a specialized unit called the Barrier Team. According to Sister Sizzy, this team consists of 3 members. Manny, their leader, wields the power of the Black Curtain, the same dark space Zhang entered, her creation. Then there is Gijie, the bearer of the solar charge, a living portable charger that absorbs sunlight and channels it to maintain. His teammates are fighting with full strength. There is also Leo, the master of light and shadow distortion, capable of bending both to make herself or anything else completely disappear. Together with Man, the trio forms the celestial curtain of illusory light, a pocket dimension that traps any enemy not of king level. In this world, they can distort the terrain at will, turning the Barrier Team's ultimate weapon into a deadly counter against the Celestial Fox's illusions. 2 female foxes stroll through the streets when one insists on capturing a human, while the other refuses, saying the city is already tense enough and asking Yer if she feels anything strange. Yer hesitates but then admits that she does. It is odd how all the humans disappeared suddenly. At that moment, a golden lightning bolt descends from the sky. The aggressor becomes angry for not finishing the fight with a single strike. Soon she realizes that it is him who is hunting her kind in Pearl City and warns that she will regret it when reinforcements arrive. Golden Boy simply challenges her to call them. According to Zhang's information, Jimbo is level 32 while the 2 foxes barely reach level 25. To him, the fight is hardly a challenge. Rudder and I launched themselves at Jimbo, certain he is just an arrogant fool, but Golden Boy faces them head-on. Rudder tears the sleeve of his shirt with a strike he thought he blocked, fueling Ai's rage. The aberration is shocked to see others of her species defeated by someone like him. She charges again only to be knocked back by a golden punch that sends her flying. Jimbo's response is decisive. Rudder, enraged, attacks Jimbo, but he grabs her wrist mid-strike. He taunts her, saying her power works in ambushes, not in hand-to-hand combat. His crushing grip makes her scream for backup, but Jimbo throws her directly, causing both to fall sideways. For the final blow, Jimbo leaps high and delivers a devastating kick that slams both opponents to the ground even in defeat. They cannot understand why they failed to sense the presence of their own kind and already fell into the trap. Jimbo does not relent, delivering another strike that detonates the area with golden thunder. From above, Zhang observes with Cece by his side. She notes Jimbo's strength as the combat division leader, while Zhang laughs, saying his outfit screams, Super Saiyan. Back in the real world, Shabai reports to Xian that mutant beasts are gathering outside the city, agitated as if something is provoking them. If they break through the walls, the celestial curtain of illusory light could be overwhelmed. Cece orders a field assessment and Shabai suggests bringing Zhang along. It will be good combat training and their marked foxes are already on the combat team's radar. The self-summoner wonders if this has any connection with the Storm Wolf's sister Shen encountered. Sissy then requests his help outside the city, assuring that she will have people guarding the forge. When pressed, she adds that she was on a call with their leader, someone Jen will meet after the mission. On the way to the city, the gem addict realizes it is the first time he crosses the walls in centuries and asks about the strange plants. Sissy quickly stops him moments before one fires, almost hitting him. She explains that it is hydrochloric acid grass, dangerously corrosive, now in fruiting season. The mature pods explode like fireworks, scattering seeds everywhere. He must be careful. She adds that a certain mutant beast feeds on this grass, and will be his first opponent. Meanwhile, the Ice Lady sets out to scout the mutant beast Riot, warning him not to stray too far. Spotting a rabbit feeding on the plants, the self-summoner analyzes it. It is a caustic aquatic rabbit, a low-level mutant with 3-star potential, level 9, capable of shooting corrosive acid from glands in its ears. To him, the creature seems harmless, though stronger than the venom-tailed armored rat. The rabbit attacks while he is on low guard, but it dodges easily. His pearl fist follows only for the rabbit to counter with acid injections. Shocked by its range, Zhang's attack activates the hydrochloric acid grass, turning the field into chaos. Realizing brute force will not work, the self-summoner lets his body operate on autopilot, dodging acid sprays while analyzing the fight. Acid fireworks explode around him, and the rabbit's sharp senses and quick reflexes make his attacks nearly useless. It is intelligent, shooting from a distance, immune to acid, and guiding him toward the mature hydrochloric acid grass. After blocking a water shot with his own hands, Zhang notices that his flames prevent the acid from burning him. The rabbit grows more aggressive, spraying acid relentlessly. Then Zhang unleashes his fire devourer ability, evaporating the corrosive projectiles. He realizes why 150 trusted him. This task is beyond his current level, but he bears the burden knowing that failure could have consequences. Meanwhile, the rabbit is annoyed that its acid was wasted, a vivid reminder of the challenge ahead. At that moment, the self-summoner senses a familiar change. As low-level beasts often have second phases, the aquatic rabbit charges at him at full speed, its claws dripping acid. In the middle of a block, Zhang strikes its arm, realizing that the rabbit has abandoned ranged attacks for close combat. He intensifies his assault, combining the fire devourer, flame reserves, and overpowering attacks, surrounding himself in flames without being burned. His reserves drop to 43 out of 100, signaling that he needs to end this quickly. He corners the rabbit, attacking while his final dodge reduces his reserves to 0. However, exactly as planned, he activates the fire devourer, absorbing the flames and replenishing his reserves, ready to continue the fight. Meanwhile, Zhang throws daggers, testing the rabbit's aerial dodges. One strike hits, burning it to ashes, but its stats show it is still alive. He follows with a brutal thrust, gaining 2 attribute points, as expected from a level 9 beast, although his own level does not increase. The higher he climbs, the harder it is to level up, which explains why attributes often increase without leveling. The fire devourer reaches a total flame absorption of 1000, reaching the intermediate stage, and his reserves increase to 300. His skill levels up, making the fight far more rewarding than expected. However, Zhang ignores the signs until he notices a horde of acid rabbits staring at him. At that moment, he cannot contain himself and utters a single syllable starting with F. The fire devourer's reserves drop to 2 out of 100, and Zhang knows he is almost out of flames. Hundreds of eyes fix on him as he finds himself surrounded by frenzied rabbits. Instinct pushes him to activate the pendant, but all the rabbits advance at full speed, leaving him no choice but to run. He murmurs that the description is the best part of courage while running, and ignites the cold jade to call for Cece's help. Despite his efforts, the relentless rabbits soon corner him. Zhang stubbornly refuses to believe the rabbits are coordinating, even as their flanking maneuvers put him in real danger. With no other option, he uses his clothes as an improvised shield against the acid spray. Just in time, Cece intervenes, shielding him with water magic, and instructing him to stay behind. She quickly notices that the buller rabbits have also grown furious, and sends a massive wave of water, nearly drowning all visible rabbits. Amid the chaos, a humanoid face emerges, hinting at a tragic story. Zhang realizes he barely managed to defeat a single one of these creatures and is giving everything he has, yet the fight demands even more. Cece asks how things got out of control while she was away, but Zhang has no answers. She confirms that the chaos is far from over and draws her sword, ready to finish them all. But the fight is still not over. Suddenly the rabbits reappear with the dead alpha. The herd should have collapsed, yet the remaining ones are stubborn, obsessed with something, leaving Cece no choice but to strike with full force using her sword. Even then, a lone rabbit remains. Meanwhile, Cece realizes they are dealing with the alpha, and the key is inside its body. She removes the rabbit's powers and retrieves a spirit-controlling pill. Its aroma catches Zhang's attention. Cece explains that it was created by a specific organization to control mutant beasts. She confirms that the beast-taming clan is finally revealing itself. The pill emits a unique scent detectable only by low and mid-level mutants, inducing them to consume it. Once ingested, the beasts lose their will and become completely obedient to the pill's master, a very different effect from a gem contract. The clan's control strategy remains a mystery. Knowing the pill is indigestible, leaving it behind risks more beasts falling under its influence. On the way back, Cece notices the connection between the pills and the beast's rage and plans to report to headquarters. She also tells Zhang that she will continue training with him outside the city walls while they talk. A shadowy figure is nearby, but Cece quickly notices it and cuts a tree in half. Zhang asks if something is wrong, but she ignores him, maintaining focus. A week later, Her Highness Lu is informed by her minions that all the celestial foxes on Artisan Street have gathered. Strange winds blow outside while Lu comments that mutant beasts are being attacked more frequently than ever. She wonders if Hang Ziming is behind it, but dismisses the idea, knowing she no longer depends on him. Instead, she decides that it is finally time to act. Suddenly, the imposter, Lil, informs her. His minions inform him that humans have found a way to break free from cognitive distortion, causing heavy losses among their kind. The fallen were stationed near Artisan Street, and those still there may be the next targets. To counterattack, the Great Aberration orders its minions to stage a convincing scene, enough to force the enemy to act rashly, determined to discover who they are truly facing. Deep in the forest, Cheng, the gem addict, awakens his long-dormant night mode, charging at the swarm of bullet rabbits. After an entire week of effort, he finally reaches level 6 and masters their attack patterns, dodging the acid projectiles with sharp precision. The first step is simple: neutralize the ranged attacks without taking a hit, driving them into a frenzy. The second step is to soak himself in acid and charge forward with his flammable coating, burning quickly, but never long enough to be fatal. Sheng burns anyway, knowing that with the scarlet serpent scales as fuel, his flames refuse to extinguish. He calls it the Fire Devourer, 3 flavors of true fire. Although the name sends shivers down his spine instantly, he emerges from a whirlwind of his own flaming tornado, surrounded by roasted rabbits with his serpent scales finally exhausted. He believes this massacre is enough to propel him toward the next level, even as the weight of his choices lingers. With the analysis complete, the self-summoner ascends to S level, his stats increasing along with the contract gem, which advances to level 5 and glows a deep blue. He recalls how nothing changed between levels 4 and 6, with the gem stubbornly stuck at 4, proving that evolving is far more difficult than he imagined. His curiosity grows, wondering what power he will unlock this time, hopefully something suited for combat. Suddenly, a lone rabbit radiates a sinister aura. Shocked to have survived, the gem addict stands firm, declaring that he is no longer the coward he once was. The twisted creature advances, and Zhang narrowly dodges, unleashing dark energy in response. For a moment he wonders if it is a ghost, a demon, or some vengeful spirit born from his slaughter. Whatever it is, the self-summoner strikes it down decisively. However, what disturbs him most is not the victory, but that a mere bullet rabbit demonstrated such a technique. He wonders if the creature is under the influence of a spirit-controlling pill, forcing it to perform, but the object it carries bears no resemblance to a pill. During analysis, the object resists identification, a rarity Zhang has not encountered in centuries. Finally, the result emerges: the essence of nether mist, of unknown quality, a potent force said to have been stored in the testicles of the nether mist black goat. Consuming it promises unpredictable, tempting, and dangerous results. After the analysis, Zhang holds the nether mist essence, a rare orb of unknown quality, supposedly containing the potent power once stored in the testicles of the nether mist black goat. Consuming it promises unpredictable results. Its reproduction begins, revealing a spectral goat surrounded by a black aura, whose presence attracts beasts toward it. A boar attacks recklessly, but its body passes through the apparition, only for the goat spirit to seize it in its jaws, destroying both creatures. To be honest, Zhang considers the orb as rare and valuable as the wind gem, but he has no idea how to activate its effect. Direct contact is nothing, unlike his previous awakening, and he wonders if he really needs to swallow that disgusting thing from the black goat's private parts. The thought makes him gag, but then a sharp memory hits him. The mutant beasts of the past almost killed him in Gemmame. When he realizes that those foxes devoured Su Gemgriao, mocking himself for thinking he had the luxury of choice, he swallows it anyway. In an instant his body convulses, and his mind seems to shatter. He collapses, screaming as visions assail him. In one he sees Gendriel chained by celestial foxes, urging him to survive, no matter the setbacks, no matter the pain. His mind burns with rage as he vows to Gao that he will not die until they are all gone. The system reveals his growth, displaying 7 stars of potential and granting him the Nethermist body, a power that absorbs the fear of living beings and transforms it into controllable Nethermist. With a reserve of 20, each point manifests physically, carrying attack power equivalent to 10% of his current level, accumulating to a staggering 1000%. For the first time, Zhang possesses a skill created exclusively for battle, combining offense and defense into an unstoppable force. This power clearly